It is the 21st century and the year 2021 to be more precise, and corruption is still a main problem in this society. Corruption is an act of dishonesty that is done by a person or an organization that is entrusted with authority. It is clear that these people or organization abuse the power entrusted to them for their personal gain. Bribery and embezzlement are activities of corruption. Corruption can be further broken down into three scales, which are petty corruption, which means that corruption occurs at a smaller scale. Second is grand corruption, which is a corruption that occurs at the highest level of government. And the last scale is systemic corruption, which is people who are corrupt within the system. We will look into a corruption that has affected a vast majority of the citizens of Malaysia. It is the fake halal meat scandal that has been carried out over a period of 40 years and has came to light recently end of last year.
Till date, the main perpetrators that involved in the fake halal meat corruption scandal are still not revealed by the authorities as the case is still under thorough investigation. However, it is publicly known that the case is involving a meat cartel that comprised of several companies owned by non-Bumiputras and imported meat from non-halal certified slaughterhouses in a few countries such as Brazil, Bolivia, Canada, Colombia, Spain, and Mexico. They aim to control the local meat import market and sabotage other importers by playing the numbers game. Here is the brief explanation on the chronology of the cartel meat corruption case. At the end of November 2020, Sinar Harian has reported that a freight company was importing non-halal certified meat and authorities were turning a blind eye to the cargo. It was said that this practice had been going on for a few years. Throughout December 2020, a raid on a warehouse uncovered a cartel in Johor where imported frozen meat worth 30 million was seized. The warehouse was used for making fake labels and stamps, then repackaging and stamping the meat with falsified labels. Senior officers from government agencies were believed to be working with the cartel where they received money and even women for sex as bribe to turn a blind eye to the cartel operation. In January 2021, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) has called 27 witnesses, including workers, import agents, and government officers, to have their statement recorded in connection with this case. As a result, 4 suspects has been remanded, while 3 Malqis enforcement officers were arrested believed to be involved. In February, the authorities have raided the cold storage warehouse in Puchong, where 12 men, including 11 foreigners, were detained. Then, 3 executives of a frozen food distribution company, LY Frozen Food Sdn Bhd, were charged at the Session Court with 7 counts each involving the Trade Description Act 2011. They, however, pleaded not guilty to all of the charges. Recently, in April, the police have arrested 34 company directors and 2 managers after finding that 19 cold distribution companies were found to be involved in this scandal during an operation conducted in 6 states, which are in Johor, KL, Selangor, Penang, Perak, and Kedah. In relation with the case of LY Frozen Food Sdn Bhd, the company director and manager have been charged with new counts, and the case have been set for a next mention on June 3rd.
People who involved in this case. Firstly is Raihana Cold Storage Sdn Bhd. Raihana Cold Storage Sdn Bhd is a private limited company and has been existed for 3 years. The company is based in Johor Bahru, Johor. 2 directors of Raihana Cold Storage are a husband and wife named Rahmat Sheikh Abdullah 45 and his wife Raihana Kasim 43. The nature of business is to carry on the business of wholesaler of frozen meat, suppliers, importers, exporters, manufacturers, retailers, dealers in frozen foodstuff and food ingredients of all kinds and other related business which can be conveniently carried on in conjunction with the company's business. Raihana Cold Storage Sdn Bhd were charged with falsifying halal logos on transport vehicles on 30 December 2020. They charged a long-term bail of 40,000 ringgit each with 1 surety. Anonymous sources claiming senior government officers from at least 4 agencies were aiding the cartel. These include the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, which is JAKIM, Veterinary Services Department, which is DVS, Malaysian Quarantine and Inspection Services Department, which is MAKIS, Custom Department and Port Police. The English Language Daily was also the first to report the practice to be ongoing for over 40 years and that officials were offered cash and women for sexual services to ignore the cartel activities. The agencies involved while the investigation ongoing are the police, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, which is MACC, and the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry, which is KPTNHEC. The scandal triggered widespread alarm in Malaysia, where 60% of the population is Muslim, who by Islamic law are prohibited from eating meat that is not halal. Malaysian opposition members castigated the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, which is JAKIM, saying the incident had tarnished the image of the Islamic halal regulators. It was feared the scandal would have a negative impact on Malaysia's plans of becoming a global hub for the $2.3 trillion international halal market.
There are three lessons that we can learn from this fake halal meat scandal. Firstly, a Muslim user must ensure beforehand about halal meat in their daily diet, because all Muslims only can eat meat from the animal that clearly slaughtered based on Islamic practice and free from uncertainty element, which is shubha. Next, Muslim consumers need to ensure that the meat product that's sold in the market confidently from halal resources, because Muslims only obligated to eat only from animal and not prohibited meat, as already mentioned in the Holy Quran. Lastly, all parties involved in the development of the halal industry, such as government, halal authorities, and even Muslim consumers should cooperate together to empower and preserve regional halal ecosystem. This cooperation is essential for safety, where particularly in the form of meat halal product. As a Muslim, we believe in sin, reward, hell, and paradise. All our good deeds in the world will be rewarded. Islam also teaches us about being kind and compassionate towards people and also animals. Even we have different religions in our communities, it is important to always respect each other.